when I was 25 years old, found a treasure hidden in a field. In my joy, I went and sold all that I had to buy that field. That field is, the treasure in that field is the true nature of reality, what came to me as a vision of the Christ.
Labor and the expression of worth.
I am able to say with some level of confidence that I am capable of walking away from any person or circumstance, that I've been breaking attachments to circumstances and people. Now it seems that there's this attachment to the monetary system, and that's not me, right? That's us. Anytime we have this attachment to something that is false, something that's a fantastical creation, like the monetary system, then we've identified an area of work for ourselves. And just like our attachment to circumstances and people, when we begin to try to break free from it, we're not really sure what we're even getting free from. We know that there's some level of discomfort or something's wrong. It's kind of like the flat earthers, right? We know something's wrong. If we come to the conclusion that what's wrong is we've been lied to about the flat earth, or we've been lied to about the shape of the earth, okay, but continue the investigation, because even if by some insane stretch of the imagination that all of physics is some kind of conspiracy, like astrophysics, that things actually don't, that matter does not gather in spherical expressions, and there are no orbits like we understand. If you are to believe that all of astrophysics is some kind of lie that is maintained by a huge number of people, okay, so say, well, oh my God. Imagine for a moment that the earth is flat, that tomorrow we discover, we're told, we've been lying to you, all of them decide to tell us, we've been lying to you, and the earth is flat. We still really haven't gotten to the bottom of the lies, have we? Absolutely not. Come on. The truth is, we are being lied to. And the truth is, we're lying to ourselves in many forms. We must continue searching to get to the bottom of things, to get to the bottom of our own self-deception, right? Because once we're no longer deceiving ourselves, then we cannot be deceived any longer. And the deepest of esoteric spiritual teachings tells us, and I believe rightly so, that this entire universe is an illusion. None of this has quite the substance that we thought it did. And I believe that anyone who has been on some kind of personal, authentic journey has to be willing to conclude that for themselves. And we all know, to some extent, how we lied to ourselves, or how we were lied to, and how we emerged from some kind of deception. And that's nested, right? That just keeps revealing itself all the way to the deepest core of material reality. A deep inquiry into the nature of self leads us to understand that the individual self is the lie. A deep inquiry into the nature of our social structure leads us to understand how that same self-lie that we have told ourselves is perpetuated in the macro experience, in the big experience, in the larger experience, right? Any one of us, any individual who has gone on this spiritual journey comes to understand the falseness of self, the way we deceive ourselves. We also understand that it seems to be a process along a timeline. We also understand that time is not quite as real as we thought it was, right? But it seems that there is an education taking place along this timeline, The education seems to be one of unlearning. It's an unlearning education. Our education is one of adding to. This education is one of reducing. So we reduce our own parts, even logically. There's a logical dismantling of the self that happens. And in fact, we must have that logical dismantling if we are to transcend the rational and come into some kind of truly cosmic, felt cosmic experience of the universe. So it's a process along a timeline. It doesn't happen all at once, it seems. We wake up to a deeper reality, and then we have to educate ourselves into that reality also. It's the same with the human species. We cannot eliminate the monetary system today. It would be absolute chaos. It wouldn't be kind. It wouldn't be helpful. It wouldn't be gentle. However, we are coming to a place, both as individuals and as a species, where our suffering is so acute now that it is time for some kind of drastic measures to be taken. What our generation is bearing witness to here is the dismantling of the toxicity of Western individual thought. Technology is playing a huge part in this. Now, we don't even know if what we see on our screens is actually true or not, if it actually took place, or if it's been generated by computer graphics. Even the layperson who spent no time in some kind of monastery has access to the deepest esoteric teachings. We're uploading all of our ones and zeros, all of our thoughts, all of our ideas to this collective technological mind, the internet. That social consciousness that we saw developing greatly in the 60s, that said, hell no, we won't go. Muhammad Ali saying, I'm not going to fight the white man's war. There's this pluralism that came in the 60s, and we're seeing the end of that pluralism. Our progressivism has failed us at this point. Our conservatism has failed us. We're running out of islands to run to. There's no place to go. The waters are rising. The places that we call churches provide no substance in their teaching. Nihilism, atheism, materialism, scientism have failed us. The nuclear family has proven to be an incubator for abuse and dysfunctional behavior. We are no longer obligated to keep the deep, dark secrets down within. And now we're starting to be able to speak about the darkness with some kind of education and some kind of help. We're dismantling all of those prisons that we've been held in. Yet we realize that we're not quite ready to abandon all of our symbolic language, so we still must keep speaking in metaphors. I, myself, when I was 25 years old, found a treasure hidden in a field. In my joy, I went and sold all that I had to buy that field. That field is, the treasure in that field is the true nature of reality. What came to me as a vision of the Christ. I had to allow the false teachings of contemporary Christianity to be dissolved in me so that I could see the truth. And it's like this with whatever form we come into. We can make a religion out of anything. We can become self-righteous around any form. Please become aware of that in your own life. And once we become aware that no form has the final say, that no mantra is the eternal mantra, that the Tao which can be spoken is not the Tao at all, then I'm not saying that it cures you of anything, because it's quite uncomfortable, because we realize then that there's really no place to hide in our self-righteousness. And that's very difficult for us, because we love to demonize others. We love to point fingers and to accuse, and there's a level of intoxication there. It's kind of just generally how we're behaving at this point. We're getting over ourselves, and that's the deepest point. We are getting over ourselves.